This section is where all our hosts sit around the table and discuss, or rant about, an issue within fiction. And since we have a special guest today, I thought I'd try and find an issue close to his heart, but at the same time, an issue which any of the other podcasts he has been on haven't covered already. And after reading your blog a couple of times and watching your Ultimatum review, at least I think it was that, I may have to double check, I found an issue I wanted to explore on this show. Continuous continuity. Put simply, the question of whether or not all stories should aim towards a planned ending, or whether our heroes should continue having adventures as long as there are people willing to write for them and read them. So yeah, Lewis, as the guest, you can start this off.
Alright, I'll start off by saying that I am a strong opponent of at least in comic books having continuous ongoing series, continuous continuity, not ending. Not necessarily ending. Some stories are built with the idea of having a natural ending point, and I'm good with that if it does truly end there. For example, Sandman moved to an ending that they always knew they were going to do. Starman moved to an ending they always knew they were going to do. But other characters that are obviously more popular, like stuff like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, they should, in my opinion, all go on. There should always be another hill to climb, another bit of character development to do. Because in reality, the real world, people's lives don't have a definitive ending. There's always going to be someone else who either carries on their own story, or it always just moves on until their death. And even when they die, like I say, there are other people around who can continue the story on. And really, I don't think continuous continuity is necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you have to adjust the way you see your writing. You have to be able to write in a way that you can have these events be mentioned and have impact later on, but just not become so convoluted and impenetrable and illogical that no one can make heads or tails of it. Now, that means you have to follow traditional story structure a bit, and you can have individual stories have a beginning, middle, and end, or just follow like rising action until the big conclusion and have closure on that chapter and then move on to the next. Basically, have those events hold impact, but don't have it be that we wouldn't understand that impact unless we read the previous story.
That's fair enough. I think continuous continuity does work. I mean, I have absolutely no problem with it, like I was saying earlier, in stuff like video games, because there are a lot of continuities with long-running franchises like Sonic, Mario, and of course my own personal favourite, Donkey Kong. They have characters change, characters evolve, new characters are added, and I don't mind that. Mind that. It's just, I think the only time continuous continuity kind of irks me, well, there are two scenarios. The first one is if there's a definite goal at the start of the series, which, in order to keep the series going, they just seem to continuously dawdle on stuff that doesn't seem that important, or just try to forget about it and hope that the audience does. One of the main reasons why I haven't gotten into the manga One Piece, despite the many recommendations and seeing bits and pieces of it that do look really good, it's because, for those who don't know, the premise of One Piece is that there's this pirate king named Gold Roger, and when he's about to be executed by the government, he lays a challenge to all pirates, saying, "My treasure is yours for the taking. I have left it all in one piece. If you find it, you shall now be king of the pirates." And the story follows the main character Luffy and his attempts to become king of the pirates by raising a crew, finding a ship, and then setting off to find One Piece. That's all really good. Unfortunately, the series has gone on for about 630 chapters, and they're still no closer to it.
Yeah, basically it's the manga version of Monkey Island, if Monkey Island had no conceivable end.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Another example, which is one that Lewis may be a bit more familiar with, of a continuous continuity that irks me like this, Star Trek Voyager. Again, sets up a goal, they're lost in, I think it was the Delta Quadrant, was it? And they have to try and get back home. How many seasons did that last again?
7.
Oh boy, yeah. And
the problem with Voyager, not the premise. Of course, the end goal was important for Voyager. The problem with Voyager is that it just wasn't very well written.
Yeah, that didn't help either.
And here's the thing, this was supposed to be the darkest of the Star Trek series, where we're going to have two opposing groups with different personalities feuding all the time, and we'll face hostile aliens we've never encountered before, and really test human resolve to stick to their guns, their ethics. They never do that.
Yeah.
The crews get along just fine by the end of the first season. The hostile aliens they encounter, either they hit the reset button on them, or they're just not very interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I wouldn't have minded if the journey itself took a long time. It's just, they always kept doing the, are they going to get home plot? Are they going to use this to get home? And of course, they always hit the reset button nearly every single time, so that they were delayed another season or so.
And they do the 6th episode. Oh, they're not going to get home 6th episode.
Yeah, it's just really irritating like that. I think that's the only reason when a continuous continuity irks me, really. It's just more of when there's an ending goal in mind, but they kind of just deviate, and then it gets to the point where the series is reaching cancellation or the writers just can't be bothered anymore, and they come up with an ending which just feels so half-assed. I mean, in Voyager, it was literally just, oh, we have found a Borg network, and we can use that to teleport for some reason.
We found a plot hole that leads all the way back to Earth.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
I wish I could take credit for that. That joke goes to Sep Debris.
Oh, of course. He's the man who always comes up with the best Voyager jokes. And this is the point where Skype really acted up, and we had to cut the discussion short if we had any hope of recording an ending for this broadcast. Which is a shame, because it was really good. Lewis was trying to bring up that if you wanted to see Voyager done right, then you should watch Battlestar Galactica, because that had the goal of reaching Earth, except when they got there, the story wasn't over because Earth was still in jeopardy, etc. And a point I wanted to bring up is that sometimes writers get so afraid of changing the status quo with continuous continuity that they become afraid of making changes. Shows kind of like The Simpsons and, well, Voyager as well. That was why I brought it up in the first place. But yeah, we got some good points out, but this is sadly where the discussion ends. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Damn you all to hell! To sum up, I think Lewis is right, and involving continuous continuity kind of did be really good. It's just sometimes it leads to writers using it as an excuse for a reset button. At least that's my opinions on it. Is there anything else you guys want to add, or?
Nope, I'm good.
For me, basically that, and it has to be put in the hands of a good writer, otherwise you're going to end up with something like, say, Naruto. Don't get me started on the continuous continuity of that balderall.
Yeah, that's best not to talk about. Anyway, that concludes the discussion session and this podcast. Once again, I would like to thank Lewis Lovehog for taking time out of his busy schedule to chat with us.
Thank you! It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Where do you get that audience? Do you just pay them to hang around with you? But yeah, once again, thank you for having and good luck with your work, and who knows, maybe we can have you again someday, and hopefully Skype won't be acting like an absolute bitch towards us.
Indeed.
Yeah, next time we won't have technical difficulties is not the word for this. Technical super engine. We have a supernova going on here, so...
Okay, so, whilst we've got away from that, once again, I'd like to thank Lewis, and once again, tell our fans that if there's anything we brought up you'd like to give your own opinions on, or any questions you'd like to ask us, you know what to do, leave your opinions in the comment section. Until then, we might as well wrap it up for this month, so that was me, the Jonin Monkey.
Me, Sven the Crusader.
Fabulous Monkey Broadcast, a monthly review and discussion show hosted by the Jonin Monkey and Sven the Crusader. If you feel that you've been the subject of slander or that your copyright has been misused, please PM me and I'll try and get round to fixing it as soon as possible. We also welcome any comments, be it feedback or your own viewpoints on any of the things we've discussed. Until next month, have fun, kids!